Now, this one is, I think, when he comes back and he gets called out for the $400 million plane, and then he's got the American doll, girl doll that follows him around, running interference for him.
KT McFarland with us here in New York this morning. KT, normalizing relations with Syria, talking to Iran, a love fest with Saudi Arabia. This is a whole new look to the Middle East.
Yeah, it's almost like these people are completely trustworthy and haven't engaged in the extrajudicial murder of journalists or, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, look, all the chessboard is moving very quickly, and the chess pieces are moving all around, and the prime mover of this is Donald Trump. At the first week of his...
Who knew all we needed for these negotiations was a man with zero morals?
First term, we sat around the White House Situation Room table, just like I'm sitting next to you, and we said, what should we do about Saudi Arabia? They were having a succession crisis. Do we back the old guys, the young guys? So I made the point of, well, we've always worked with the old guys. They're very conservative. They're close to the mullahs. And Trump said, no, we are going to back the new guys. They're untested. And this was Mohammed bin Salman. We're going to back the young guy because they've all been the young generation.
Because Jared and my son have a business relationship with him.
Educated in the West, they're comfortable with women's rights. They're comfortable with open societies. They realize they have to diversify their economies away from oil. That's the direction we're going. So as a result of that, Mohammed bin Salman really owes his career to Donald Trump.
So his career as a royal prince.
This love fest. This is a father-son thing. I mean, because of Trump, they were able to do what they said they were going to do. Because of the Saudis, they did what they said they promised to do. It's extraordinary what they've accomplished.
Watching it.
Nothing. Again, if there are deals to be made eventually, we'll see. But again, this is just him shaking up. Like, he shakes the tree and he assumes that all the people that will come in and clean it up will make sure that, nothing breaks too badly. This has always been his strategy in these situations. Where's everybody afraid to go? Well, we're afraid to go over here because we know the 10 ways this can go horribly. Okay, well, I'm going to go shake that tree, and you guys have to put it back together, and maybe it'll come back together, 10% better than it was, even though I caused 30% more damage.
Extraordinary. We watched it right here. You could see it on our screens and put it out to the audience. Extraordinary. Look, we've got to get to the issue of this gifted plane.
Why is it extraordinary to suck up to the fucking Saudis? Right? This is his same thing of like kowtowing to the royals in England. He loves fucking royalty.
Here's what President Trump had to say about the hysteria that gift has caused. Roll tape.
These planes, the plane that you're on right now is almost 40 years old. And when you land and you see Saudi Arabia and you see UAE and you see Qatar and you see all this, and they have these brand new Boeing 747s mostly. And cars next to it. This is like a totally different plane. It's much smaller. It's much less impressive.
And it can stay in the air during a nuclear exchange for like a year if it's refueled. Unlike these floating brothels that they fly around in, because they don't give a shit.
As it is. And, with the United States of America, I believe that we should have the most impressive plane. Some people say, oh, you shouldn't accept gifts for the country. My attitude is, why wouldn't I accept a gift? We're giving to everybody else. Why wouldn't I accept a gift?
Because it's for you and for your use after you leave office. That's the problem, because again, I don't think anybody at the DOD is comfortable with a plane that's been in the possession of the fucking Saudis for 13 years. The plane they were going to give him is 13 years old.
We may have legitimate concerns over this gift, but I don't think we should let it get in the way of the big picture and the...
Right. Yes, that's true. Don't let it get in the way of all the other ways that he's grifting over there with fucking golf courses and buildings and crypto and all that stuff. Yeah, the plane is a distraction from the actual criming he's doing.
That Trump's made. We can't be distracted by it.
Well, that's what they want you to do, right? I mean,
who's they? The Qataris? We didn't fucking bring it up. He's the asshole who accepted it.
Against the fact that we now have peace in the Middle East.
We do not have peace in the Middle East.
Peace between India and Pakistan. That was just with a phone call.
We do not have peace between India and Pakistan.
We have new trade agreements. We're dealing with China.
We do not have new trade agreements. We do not.
U.S.-UK trade agreement. Everything is going really, really well. So if you're
Yes, because we were all just tortured over the U.S. and U.K. trade arrangement. All those jobs the U.K. stole from us are going to come roaring back. Crumpet factories will reopen in the Bronx.
opposition, what are you going to do to complain about Trump? I guess maybe we don't like the look of the plane. Now
how about the crypto deal, the $200 billion crypto deal that they did using his stable coin, where he made like hundreds of millions of dollars on the exchange of it? How about the fact that he struck a deal for like 3 buildings and 2 fucking golf courses with on these same trips while he's flying on behalf of the United States? The fact that he has not removed himself from his businesses at all. The plane is just an example of it. It's just a fucking it's like a trophy of the whole thing. It's like the Grifter of the Year award.
if you look at the law, it says that a presidential library is able to accept free planes, a gift of a plane, a gift of a ship. President Reagan's library has Air Force One there.
Yeah, they decommissioned one of ours. It didn't come from the fucking it didn't come from Hamas's main enablers.
Trump, they're going to give it to Trump's library eventually, I guess. He's just getting a little bit early and free for the United States. I have no problem with this.
Of course you don't. You worked for him, dipshit.
For you, KT. Listen to what Trump had to say about tomorrow's expected meeting in Istanbul between Russia and Ukraine. Roll that tape.
We'll bring peace not only here, but I know you're very much involved in helping us in other regions, like what's happening with Russia, Ukraine, etc. And I think we're having some pretty good news coming out of there today and maybe tomorrow and maybe Friday, frankly. But we'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, and in 2 weeks, it's going to be a great peace deal.
That meeting, possibly the start of a genuine ceasefire in...
Yeah, yes, it is. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, no question. They're going to definitely... You got it, Varney. Absolutely. That's all he needed, is just get him in the room.
Absolutely.
It is?
And look, President Trump, again, out of the deal, he's a closer. So what has he done? He's had all...
No, he isn't. He didn't close the UK deal. They're still working on it, if there's even a deal there to be had. There's no closing to... The 3-phase deal with China from his last term was never closed.
China, we're with China.
I mean, he closed a casino. Does that count? He closed a football team and an airline and a water company and a steak company and a show.
With Israel, with everybody. Guess who's missing out on everything? Vladimir Putin. He's got to have major FOMO, right? Fear of missing out on the big acts that are going on in the world. He likes to be a world player. So I think that Marco Rubio's...
He is a world player. He is. He owns our president.
There's going to be an empty seat next to Marco Rubio. And if Putin comes, Trump comes, and they're not going to sit around and do nothing. If they come, they get a deal.
So if President
For a golf course.
Trump gets some peace in the Mideast and peace in Ukraine, should he get the Nobel Peace Prize?
I guess he could probably get it for many things that he's achieved.
If Obama...
That's right. Just for the UK deal, whatever that is.
For doing nothing.
Nothing.
Trump could get 2 or 3 of them by the time he's finished.
Katie, I just want to turn to our colleague
I'm so glad she's treating this with the seriousness it deserves.
in Chaffetz. I want your opinion on this, the gifted jet. Some Democrats are starting to hold up judicial appointments until they get an investigation into this jet.
They're just using that as an excuse. They're holding up all the judicial appointments. Stupid.
That.
Investigate what? Like, what are they going to investigate? It's all above board. You can pretty much go out and see it. And I think Donald Trump makes a good point. We'd be idiots not to accept it.
But you think it looks bad? I mean, $400 million.
It's the Qatar government. The leaders of Hamas live there. They're billionaires. They're in business with the Qatari royal family or the leadership there.
Looks bad is giving billions of dollars to Boeing and them not producing the new and improved Air Force One. If you
Right. It's a 13-year-old plane so that Boeing doesn't make a new plane here in America.
an investigation, go figure out where all those billions of dollars went and why Boeing wasn't able to complete the transaction and put.
Because 2 administrations in a row have changed the order.
Air Force One out there. But to accept a plane, it's all above board.
My premise.
No, it isn't, because the promise of it after he gets out of office is the part that makes it a violation of the Emoluments Clause, because he's accepting a private gift before he leaves office. You tit.